What's up, guys? Procust here. I'm with my friend. He came first in Swiss last Saturday. He also came top 32 in YCS Sydney and with Harpies. So it's going to be a pretty interesting deck profile for you guys, and hopefully you guys enjoy it. And off we go.
Yeah, top 32 with Harpies at YCS. First in Swiss yesterday, 6-round event. Pretty basic build, free channeler. If you're not running free channeler, you don't play this deck, pretty much. Free queen, it's 1900, it gets the field spell is really good. Only 2 dancer. A lot of people play free just to have the maximum amount of Harpies, since there's only 12 of them. I only play 11 because without the field spell, dance is a 1200 who does nothing else. So.
And it's like a very good card to remove your opponent's back row.
Yeah, it's really good with the field spell, but without it, it's shit. So I just run 2 because it's searchable from both channeler and the historic sign. Yeah, which you'll see that later. Very good card. 2 Harpy Lady 1. The 300 attack looks really nice. I run 2 because I run 1 Cyber Harpy Lady because it's an 1800 standalone. With the field spell, it beats over Gigiyama, Thunder King, other problematic cards. 1 Pet Dragon. Some people have dropped it because it's inconsistent, but rank 7s are still really good. And now that Soul Charge is out, you have more than 1 rank 7 play per game with just Pet Dragon, and then Blackwind Zephyros lines up the monsters. He's just really fucking good. He bounces Historic Party, Historic Sign of a field spell, gives you an extra monster. He's Icarus attack food. He's just really good. So that's, I believe 13 monsters. 11 Harpies, Pet Dragon, and Zephyros. So, spell lineup here, we have 2 field spell. I side the 3rd because there's a lot of Sylvans and stuff going around which don't run match back row, and now that the new field spell rules out, there's less chance of my field spell actually dying, and you don't really need 2 at a time. So I play 2, side the 3rd for heavy back row decks or to counter side MSTs. Free Historic Sign, if you're playing Harpies, you run Free Historic Sign, otherwise I'll punch you in the face.
Can you please elaborate more on Historic Sign and what it actually does?
Okay. During the end phase, if this card goes from your hand or field to the graveyard, you get 3 cards from the deck to the hand. That's a plus 2.
3 Harpy cards?
3 Harpy cards with different names.
And you can also get it off with your
I can use
Magical Hats.
Magical Hats triggers it, I'll get to that later.
And pop it yourself with...
I can pop it with Hunting Ground, I can pop it with Icarus Attack, I can discard it with Phoenix Wing Blast. And I can discard for Historic Party.
That's a very consistent card too.
It's also got a first effect which adds Elegant Eagles to your hand from the field or from deck or grave to hand. This summons another Harpy Lady if you control a Harpy Lady. I only run 1 because Historic Sign gives you 4 copies of it essentially. 2 Forbidden Lance because even though I killed back row really easily, anything that can chain to Hunting Ground like Bottomless, Torrential, stuff like that really hurts the deck because they're so reliant on the normal summon. So this chains to it, helps me just survive. Plus, they're all low attack monsters. The 800 attack reduction gets you over a lot of stuff, especially with Chidori, who's a 1900. It puts Chidori on a level of 27, so that gets over most monsters. 1 Book of Moon, because Book of Moon is really versatile. Previously I wasn't running it and running Pot of Duality, but Book of Moon just, it's a really good card, and if they veil you chain it to it, you can use it to get around decrees, trap stuns, wiretaps. And wiretaps in a lot of plays, so any trap that isn't a trap is really good. And 2 Soul Charge, because Soul Charge is good. In this deck, it gives you access to like going into double Chidori or like Big Eye easier, and it just gives you a way to come back, because Harpies have no good top decks. This is a good top deck. Trap cards, 2 Magical Hats. People should know what it does by now, but a lot of people don't. Takes 2 spell trap cards from your deck, summons them to the field, shuffles them with your monster face down at the end of the battle phase. The spell and traps die. By itself, it's not very good, but it puts Historic Sign on the field, then kills it, so you get the searches at the end phase. So it's a searcher for Historic Sign. 2 Historic Party. I only run 2 because I've got Soul Charge now, and having 5 or 6 combined of Party and Soul Charge just was a bit too much. I kept drawing it early when I didn't have monsters. You could run 3 of these in 1 Soul Charge, but it's not as good as the top deck. It loses to MST and it requires a discard outlet, so 2 and 2 seems to be working pretty fine. 2 Icarus Attack. It's a really good trap card. Yeah, it's a really good trap card. If you've played in the back in the Blackwind era, that was one of the most feared cards in the game. It's still pretty good. It goes +1 if you chain it to any removal effect. You can pop Historic Sign with it to go like +2. You can do a lot of stuff. 1 Phoenix Wind Blast, it discards Historic Sign from the hand, giving you its effect. Plus it can discard dead cards like the Pet Dragon. It's really awful to draw. If you've got this, you can get rid of it. Yeah, stuff like that. Just a really versatile card. I only run one because you never want to draw two of them, because having to discard two cards will just kill this deck from an advantage standpoint unless you have Hysteric Sign. So I run one because I never want to draw two. Solemn Warning, Torrential Tribute, Bottomless Trap Holes, Bottomless Trap Hole. If you're running traps, you're on one of each. They're limited for a reason. 2D Prayers, it's at 3 now, but it's less versatile than all my other traps. Still very strong, but I wouldn't run 3 because I think 2 is a good number. 2 Finish Chain. I can bounce it with Blackwind Zephyros, so that's a really good play. Other than that, it's just stops attacks when all my monsters are weak, and people aren't playing MST as much, so it gets quite a bit stronger. And 2 Wiretap for the same reason as Lance, but it also stops counter traps. Like Solemn Warning is quite hurtful for the deck. Wiretap stops it, and it also stops just traps. That's what the card does. Traps hurt. Onto the extra deck now. 2 Lightning Chidoris. You can run 3, but you very rarely need it, especially since Elval came out a few months ago and you got good cards like 101 and Exoton to run in addition. 1 Zerafine. If people don't know what Zerafine does, well...
Please explain what it does.
It's another card that requires 2 level 4 Winged Beasts, so Harpies and Blackwings are the only decks that can run it, so a lot of people don't know what it does, and it's really good. It negates every face-up card on my opponent's field until my next standby phase, and it gets 300 boost for every face-up card on either side of the field until my next standby phase. So this can very easily hit 3 or 4k attack while negating problem cards. It can negate Dracosac, run over it. It can negate field spells, continuous spells, so your opponent can't use them until my next turn. It was quite good against Sylvans. They had the field spell out with a Miracle Fertilizer and negated both, so then they couldn't make a comeback. Yeah, it's just a very versatile card. It's pretty situational though, so just 1. I used to run 2, but then their spots got tight. Big Eye, Dracosac, those shouldn't require explanation. They're just... Rank 7s are feared for a reason. And yeah. 2 Solent on an Arc, just because it's a really good card. Both I run 2 so that I have 1 copy I can sit on as a 2100 beta who protects himself, and then a backup copy if I want to use his effect, or vice versa. 1 Ableswarm Exoton, very good card, especially with Hysteric Sign. If I can play Hysteric Sign first turn and get an Egotist, and then the next turn use Egotist to go into Exoton Knight and blow the field, I'll then get Hysteric Sign's second effect and get 3 cards, which is a +3 from the Hysteric Sign, plus whatever Exoton gives. Gaga Cowboy, burns the game. That's pretty much all it's good for.
Why do you play Heartland Draco?
Heartland Draco, just... Normally, the good thing about Cowboy is that you can use it main phase 2 after attacking, whereas you can't with Draco. And Draco loses to battle traps and stuff like that. I don't run it because of extra deck space. It's like probably 16th or 17th card I would run. But Cowboy does the job. Usually opponents aren't between 8 and 2000 without you having another out. So Heartland Draco doesn't come up very much. 1 Abyss Dweller. Mermails aren't as popular as they used to be, so I only run 1, but you still want to run 1 for hands, Mermails, even Sylvans, I guess. Though it's less good against them. The other half of it, number 80, it pretty much replaced the second Abyss Dweller. You can banish Dragon Rulers, you can banish anything engraved that's problematic. Bujin Relics, very good against Inzeptors if you randomly play against them. Black Shift, good against hands, good against, if Bujins have hair but not turtle, it kills them. It's a problem-solving card that hits a lot of stuff. Plus, the 1000 burn actually won me a game. I equipped number 80 to Black Ship of Corn, so that I could then burn the 1000 I needed after playing Soul Charge, because he was on 900, which Cowboy couldn't do. Ragnar Zero, I run Lances, so just even with Lance, Ragnar Zero is good. Otherwise, you use it against decks that have it boosting cards. Bujins, Fire Fist, anything with a field spell that boosts the field. Very good in the mirror match, if you play the mirror match often, which I don't. Lavabo Chain, it dumps Blackwind Zephyros, that's its only purpose pretty much. But you can go Hysteric Party for 5 Harpies or 4 Harpies, overlay 2 of them into this guy, dump Zephyros, and then Zephyros summons itself bouncing the same Hysteric Party after you've overlaid over Harpies, so you get 2 uses out of Hysteric Party really easily by having this card in your deck. And then Steel Swarm Roach, He's the only iffy card in the deck. I might drop him to put in Heartland Draco or something else. Synchro decks occasionally come up. Light Swans are pretty big. If you can sit on this guy plus back row, you can pretty much be safe against Light Swans late game. And that's it for the extra, 15.
Yeah, and then was that everything for the deck profile?
Yeah, I don't have my side deck from yesterday on me. And it says like MSTs, debunks, Iron Walls, stuff like that, Maxes. Pretty basic.
Cool. And did you have any like things else to say about the deck? Anything you changed? Anything you like? Anything about your matchups from last Saturday or?
I played against a lot of Sylvans and it's a pretty good matchup. Except I kept drawing into my Y-taps game 1, which sucks when they don't run back row. But otherwise, it's a pretty good matchup. I can top deck cards to that they like their trees, put them on top, they draw it next turn, and get rid of their field spell really easily. I just, provided they don't explode and overwhelm me, I can out control them. I played 2 Traptrix decks, one with artifacts, one with hands, but none of them played all 3. The Traptrix artifacts was the only loss of the day. Might be unsurprising for Harpies. Artifacts are a good matchup against Harpies. What do you know? But Traptrix without the artifacts is actually a surprisingly good matchup for Harpies because we just kill them with back row. They kept playing stuff like Traptrix on Nightmare and Blackhorns and stuff that they can't respond to my normal summons with, and then I just blow them away with the Hunting Ground. My other matchup was Normal Knights, which was played by Pro Custard, and
I was so amazing with that.
It was the first time he has ever made it to Game 3 in a tournament against me in this matchup. So Harpies have a pretty good matchup against Normal Knights, wouldn't you say, Pro Custard?
Yes, sadly they do. Very sadly.
Yeah, other than that, the deck's really powerful, but it's rather inconsistent. I was top in Swiss, but then I got knocked out in top 8 because Game 2 I did not draw a monster in the first 10 cards, so my opponent literally summoned monsters and attacked me to death with a Marshall Leaf in Sylvan.
Wait, was that the game I saw?
Yeah, that was Game 2, that was the game you saw. I had a D-Fish out, I thought I had game, and I just didn't draw any monsters, and he just hit me to death with a 1500 data.
That sounds pretty good.
You brick occasionally. This deck bricks more than other decks, so you're going to be ready for that if you play it. But if it doesn't brick, it's really strong. That's all I got to say about it, really.
And that's everything, eh?
Yeah, that's it.
Alright, this is Pro Custard signing out. Remember to like this video, comment below me, and subscribe. That took me a while to say. Alright, thanks for watching. See you later.